Hi everybody, this is Brody again with my activity uh, monitoring application. So this week, what I ended up working on was the goals page. Before it was just a blank input. Now I have it updating with the user profile goals in the database, and you can update that number here dynamically, and it'll dynamically update here to whatever you put in. One of the cool things that I added too was now when you head over to your profile, it'll show you your weekly goals, so 15, which we just put it in there, and then it'll show the how much you've completed. So we have 8 miles completed, so we're at 53%, and then we need 7 miles to complete our goal. If you look down below, here's the time spent during the week, 1 hour 27 minutes, and then here's our 2 activities and how many miles we ran in each. So what's cool about that is we go back over to the goals. We could change this to, 30. Update it. Back to our profile. Our weekly goal, 30 miles. So we need 22. We've completed our 8. Time spent, 1:27 minutes. And then you can see too, as we go back into our feed, here's our activities that we've done. If we add an activity, so let's say, new run, distance, let's say we ran 14 miles, and that was what? Let's say 120 minutes. We did in 2 hours. We're super fast. So we add that activity. So here's our run, 14 miles, 120 minutes. It's added right there. Our goals, we still have it set as 30. If we go to our profile, and our weekly goal was 30, we can see that we have now completed 22 miles, and we only need 8 to finish off our 30-mile goal. You can see it added the 2 activities for the same day, spiked up, and then it would continue over if we added activity tomorrow. And then here's our totals time was updated as well, 3 hours, 27 minutes. So, kind of show you what I was doing. If I can get this back over here. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. So what I ended up having to do was going into my pages, my profile page. Let me drag this over so you can see a little bit better. And let's soft wrap this. Files. There we go. Okay. So my user's profile, I added another Canvas.js chart, and I imported my different I'm sorry, wrong one. So here's the new Canvas.js chart that has the different percentages, and I've got a current weekly miles and current weekly percentage that's getting displayed in there. The controller that's doing that is on my profile controller. So down here at the bottom, I created a current weekly percentage, which is my profile goal, which was whatever, 35 miles or 25 miles, and then however many current miles we have by cycling through each activity and adding up the distance, and then compact adding them onto the view. So that was that as far as getting it to display on the profile. For the goals controller, I had to actually create a model for this. So I have my index for the goals page, and then my update function. So I had to create these two, and in my routes I had to create a resource goals and my goals controller so that everything kind of goes through correctly. Back in my goals controller though, we've got my index, which is the default page, which will go and find the user. Right now I'm just using user 1 because we're only logged in at this user. Otherwise, if this would go to production, it would find the user ID in the database, send a database request, and then pull it in that way. And then it pulls the goal, the weekly goal, and sets it to my goal and compacts that onto the goals page. To update that, what I ended up doing was, let's go back to my goals page. Okay, so I created a form that pulls in that user. We'll go back to the goals controller. So see, I'm compacting the my goal and user, so it's pulling in that user with that ID. Let's get rid of this. All right, goals. So it pulls in that user, and then I want to patch, so I want to update the user based on that user ID. And then I'm putting in my weekly goal miles up here. And then I've got a form that pulls in that weekly goal attribute of this user model. And then as I hit this update, it'll submit a post request, and it'll go through this method. It'll go through the goals controller update, which is here, which pulls in that ID, which would be 1, just for net, but it would end up being whatever ID it was in the database. And then it pulls in this request model, finds the user or fails it based on that ID, and then it updates everything on there and then redirects it to goals. So basically what that's doing is, here's the goals page, it pulls in the information from that ID, and as we change that, we hit update, and it goes through that entire process of updating it, and then it redirects us back to goals. So it's actually reloading this page with the new content every time we do that. And by updating that in the database dynamically like this, it also updates your profile page with your weekly goal. And it updates your completed and your needed percentages. That's it. Thanks.